I'm happy we finally get to start a Sunday with Vikings football. Week 1, we had to wait for the second wave of games. Week 2, we had to wait a whole extra day for Monday Night Football. This Sunday, noon Central, 10 Pacific. That's going to be nice. Vikings host the Detroit Lions at US Bank Stadium. Let's talk about it. Offensively, Minnesota's going to be facing a Lions defensive line consisting of rookie Aiden Hutchinson, who already has 3 sacks on the year so far, all of which came last week against Washington. Now, the last 2 practices, including today, Hutchinson has been a DNP. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Lions injury report later on in this video, but they like to switch him from left end to right end. In this game, I'm only guessing they'll favor him for the most part versus second-year tackle Christian Darrisaw. Even still, sometimes what they have him do, he'll line up as a defensive end pre-snap, and then after the snap, he'll bounce inside. High motor, incredibly athletic. Charles Harris is also a problem. Last week, he had himself a game, a sack fumble, a safety, and a blocked extra point. And I feel like you rarely see a zero to hero type of leap mid-career for a professional athlete. Charles Harris, before last year, was a guy who did just enough to stay in the league. He gets to Detroit in 2021, takes his game to the next level immediately, and now proving that last year was no fluke, still making a big-time impact on the defensive line. I do worry about right guard Ed Ingram in pass protection. However, silver lining, left guard Ezra Cleveland, his game has evolved. He's played extremely well, proving me wrong. This is going to be a big-time test in the trenches. Now, at linebacker, Malcolm Rodriguez is a force, both against the run and as a pass rusher. He's not afraid to take on offensive linemen. In week 1 against the Eagles, he ripped center Jason Kelce over his shoulder. So beware, Vikings offensive linemen. The buck does not stop with the Lions defensive line. You got to be on the lookout for 44 as well. Malcolm Rodriguez is a rookie, a 6th round draft pick. Outstanding. But even if you do account for him, linebacker Chris Board, he'll bring pressure against the quarterback in blitz packages. This is a situation where Vikings offensive linemen, they've got to keep their heads on a swivel. Dalvin Cook, he's going to face heavy hitters at the first and second levels. You need extra help blockers from guys like Johnny Munt and CJ Ham. Kirk Cousins, you got to be aware of where the blitz is coming from pre-snap. If not, he's going to take a bruising on Sunday. Jeff Okudah in the secondary. Jeff Okudah has no doubt been the Lions comeback player of the year. Has had no problems giving fits, particularly in man coverage. Now, Mike Hughes, however, former Vikings player, I expect Kirk Cousins to go after him plenty. At safety, Tracy Walker has been a stud. On Thursday's practice, he was listed as a DNP, presumably because he and his wife are expecting a baby. Congrats to him. I want to see KJ Osborne and Adam Thielen get involved early and often. The front 7 of the Lions, they're going to present problems, but the secondary, there's some holes to get after. Now, if Dalvin Cook manages to get his powers back from the Monstars, that would be a bonus. Now, defensively, the Vikings have 2 main weapons to account for. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he has been balling this year. He's been their Superman at wideout. And at running back, DeAndre Swift, averaging so far 100 yards per game, also presents the threat of being a pass-catching weapon. Now, on Thursday, Swift was listed as a limited participant as well as tight end TJ Hawkinson. Their offensive line, when healthy, incredible. The problem is 2 of their starters were on the injury report. Left guard Jonah Jackson, a DNP with a finger issue. Center Frank Ragnow, a limited participant with a foot issue. The Lions, besides Tracy Walker, who's expecting a child, they have 5 starters who were either an LP or a DNP on Thursday. And not just starters, we're talking about some of their best players. It'll be interesting to see who clears and who doesn't. Ultimately, I want the Vikings to face each team at full strength. And if you get your asses kicked like you did on Monday night, learn from it and grow. Jared Goff, I would say, has been okay so far. Good from the standpoint of 6 touchdowns to 1 interception, but it offsets with a 58% completion rate. He's good for 20 completions a game while missing 15. The pass rush needs to be reborn. On Monday night, they went to sleep. Force Jared Goff into some errant passes. The secondary needs to capitalize on those pressure throws. Now, if the offensive line is fully healthy, that's going to be a problem because with the Eagles and then going to the Lions, you're talking about facing two of the best offensive lines in the league. And if you can't get pressure, then the responsibility then shifts to the secondary to try to maintain tighter coverage longer than they're normally asked to do. It's not a recipe for success, but it's something. The Lions are a tough football team. I really underestimated them. Week 1, we got smashed by the Eagles, right? Week 1 against the same team, they pushed the Philadelphia Eagles to the brink, losing by only 3 points. They beat the Washington Commanders last week on Sunday, albeit nearly blew. It looks like they were on the verge of blowing a 22-0 lead. They're either going to win or even in losses, they're going to be a tough out. It's going to be a close game. I think the Vikings will get right here. I think being at US Bank Stadium, the fans will have a chance to affect Jared Goff's stress management. I'm going to say the Vikings win this game 23-20. I'm going to watch with one eye open.